Good morning, children. Today we'll study lesson number 3 from testing to digesting. So, before we start our class, tell me which part of our body help us to taste food. That is tongue. Our tongue has tiny bumps called taste buds which help us to taste the food. Sweet, sour, bitter and salty are the 4 types of tastes. So, let us start our story. Different tastes. Jhumpa ran into the kitchen and caught hold of her mother, saying, "Ma, I am not going to eat this bitter Kerala, bitter gourd. Give me gur, means jaggery, and roti." Ma smiled and said, "You ate roti and sugar in the morning." Julan teased Jhumpa, "Don't you get bored of only one kind of taste?" Jhumpa replied quickly, "Do you get bored with licking imli, means tamarind? I bet your mouth is watering just by hearing the word imli. Sure, I love the sour imli, but I eat sweet and salty things too. I even eat Kerala," said Julan and looked at her mother. They both laughed heartily. Okay, children. In this story, there are 2 sisters named Jhumpa and Julan. So one day, Jhumpa ran into the kitchen and caught hold of her mother, saying, "Ma, I am not going to eat this bitter Kerala." She told her to give her jaggery and roti. Her mother smiled and said, "You ate roti and sugar already in the morning." So then her sister Julan teased Jhumpa, "Don't you get bored of only one kind of taste?" And Jhumpa replied quickly, "Do you get bored with licking imli?" So children, we can see here that Julan's mouth started watering when she heard the word imli. What about you, children? When does your mouth water? I am sure everyone's mouth starts watering by hearing the name of your favorite food, like Julan, right? So Julan said, "Sure, I love the sour imli, but I eat sweet and salty things too, and even eat Kerala." And she looked at her mother, and her mother and Julan, they both looked each other and laughed heartily. Next, Julan said to Jhumpa, "Let's play a game. You close your eyes and open your mouth. I will put something to eat in your mouth. You have to tell what it is." Julan took a few drops of lemon juice in spoon and put them in Jhumpa's mouth. "Sour lemon," Jhumpa replied quickly. Okay, here we can see that Julan and Jhumpa are playing games. Julan said Jhumpa to close her eyes, and Julan took a few drops of lemon juice in a spoon and put them in Jhumpa's mouth. And Jhumpa, she replied very quickly that it is sour lemon. Next, Julan then picked up a small piece of jaggery. Her mother suggested crush it, otherwise she will know what it is. Julan crushed the jaggery, but Jhumpa easily guessed it. They played the game with different food items. Jhumpa could tell the fried fish even before tasting it. So children, we can see that they have played the game with different food items. Julan crushed the jaggery and gave her, but Jhumpa easily guessed it. She could tell the fried fish even before tasting it. So what do you think, children? How did Jhumpa make out the fried fish? Jhumpa made out the fried fish by its smell. Children, we can of course guess something only by their smell without seeing or tasting them with the help of the sense of smell. Now close your nose and tell me what this is. Jhumpa was confused. It is a bit bitter, a little salty and somewhat sour. Give me one more spoonful. Julan took another spoonful of the cooked Kerala, uncovered Jhumpa's eyes and said, "Here it is, eat." Jhumpa laughed. "Yes, give me more." Now Julan said Jhumpa to close her nose and tell me what is this. Jhumpa was confused. It is a bit bitter, a little salty and somewhat sour. So she asked for one more spoonful. So Julan took another spoonful of the cooked Kerala. Then she uncovered Jumpa's eyes and said, "Here it is, eat." So Jumpa laughed and he asked for more. So children, tell me, why did Jumpa could not find the taste of Kerala while her nose was closed? What do you think? Because we get the complete taste of food only when we are able to smell it. Here in page number 25, here is one question. Use a clean cloth to wipe the front part of your tongue so that it is dry. Put some sugar or jaggery there. Could you taste anything? Why did this happen? No, we could not taste anything. It is because we get the taste only when the food mixes up with saliva and reaches taste buds present on the tongue. So here you can see the picture of a tongue. You can see here the small pores. These are the taste buds which help us to taste the food. Again in page number 26, here are some questions. So let us discuss, children. Has anyone at home told you to eat slowly and to chew well so that the food digests properly? Why do you think they said this? Yes, of course, our elders used to tell us to eat slowly and chew well. It is because if the food is properly chewed up, it will be digested and we will get its maximum nutrition. So in question number 2, imagine you are eating something hard like a green guava. What kinds of changes take place in it from the time you bite a piece or put it in your mouth to when you swallow it? So children, when we bite a piece of green guava, it is hard and may even taste a bit bitter in first. But however, after chewing it properly, it becomes soft and sweet. Saliva makes the food soft and also help in its digestion. Next is, think, what does the saliva in our mouth do? So children, saliva present in the mouth help in moistening of food and swallowing of food easily. Next, Nitu was given a glucose drip. Nitu was very sick. All day she was vomiting and she also had loose motions. Whatever she ate, she vomited. Her father gave her sugar and salt solution. By evening, Nitu was feeling weak and dizzy. When she got up to go to the doctor, she fainted. Her father had to carry her to the doctor. The doctor said that Nitu should get admitted in the hospital. She needs to be given a glucose drip. Hearing this, Nitu got confused. She knew that during the games period in school, the teacher sometimes gave them glucose to drink. But what was a glucose drip? Dr. Auntie explained, your stomach is upset, your body is not keeping any food and water, and it has become very weak. The glucose drip will give you some strength quickly even without eating. Okay children, here is this girl named Nitu. She was very sick and she was vomiting and had loose motion. So her father gave her sugar and salt solution to give her some strength. Again, by evening, Nitu was feeling weak and dizzy. So her father carried her to the doctor, and the doctor said that Nitu should get admitted in the hospital. She needs to be given a glucose drip. So hearing this, Nitu got confused because she knew that during the games period in the school, her teacher sometimes gave them glucose to drink. But what was a glucose drip? Okay, children, tell me, have you heard the word glucose? I think all have heard the word glucose and seen it in various advertisements on TV and in newspaper, etc. So now, this Nitu, she is confused as to what is glucose drip. So her doctor auntie explained, your stomach is upset. Your body is not keeping any food and water and it has become very weak. So the glucose drip will give you some strength quickly even without eating. Here you can see the picture of a doctor. This is Nitu and this is glucose drip. Okay, next story, a stomach with a window. In the poem, you read about a soldier called Martin. In 1822, he was 18 years old and was very healthy. When he was shot, he got seriously hurt at that time. Dr. Beaumont was called to treat him. Dr. Beaumont cleaned the wound and put the dressing. After 1.5 years, the doctor found that Martin's wound had healed except for one thing. He had a big hole in his stomach. The hole was covered with a loose plate of skin like the washers in a football. Press the skin and you could peep into Martin's stomach. Not only that, the doctor could also take out food from the stomach by putting a tube in the hole. Dr. Beaumont felt he had found a treasure. Can you guess how much time he spent on doing different experiments on this stomach? 9 years. During this time, Martin grew up and got married. So children, in 1822, Martin was shot and seriously hurt. At that time, Dr. Beaumont was called to treat him. After 1.5 years, the doctor found that Martin's wound had healed except one thing. He had a big hole in his stomach. So the hole was covered with a loose plate of skin. When he pressed the skin, he could peep into Martin's stomach. Not only that, the doctor could also take out food from the stomach. He spent almost 9 years on doing different experiments with Martin's stomach. Next, at that time, scientists did not know how food was digested. How does the liquid, that is digestive juices in the stomach help? Does it only help in making the food wet and soft, or does it also help in digestion? So let us know that. Dr. Beaumont took some liquid out of the stomach. He wanted to see what would happen to a food item kept in a glass filled with it. Would it get digested on its own? For this, he did an experiment. With the help of a tube, he took out some digestive juice from the stomach. At 8:30 a.m., he put 20 tiny pieces of boiled fish in 10 milliliters of the juice. He kept the glass at the same temperature as that of our stomach, about 30 degrees Celsius. When he checked at 2 p.m., he found that the pieces of fish had dissolved. Okay, so that at that time, scientists did not know how food was digested. So Dr. Beaumont did experiment with the help of a tube. He took out some digestive juice from the stomach. 8:30 a.m. he put 20 tiny pieces of boiled fish in 10 milliliters of the juice. He kept the glass at the same temperature as that of our stomach, about that is 30 degrees Celsius. When he checked at 2 p.m., he found that the pieces of fish had dissolved already. Next, Dr. Beaumont tried this experiment with different food items. He gave Martin the same food at the same time and then compared how long it took for food to digest it in the glass and in Martin's stomach. He recorded this observation in a table. So, here you can see the table. Here is a part of his observation table. These are the food items, time taken for digestion, in the stomach and in the glass with digestive juices. Number 1, unboiled milk it took 2 hours 15 minutes in stomach and 4 hours 45 minutes in the glass with digestive juice. 2. Boiled milk took 2 hours in the stomach and 4 hours and 15 minutes in the glass. Again, full boiled egg took 3 hours 30 minutes in the stomach and 8 hours in the glass. Half boiled egg took 3 hours in the stomach and 6 hours and 30 minutes in the glass. Raw egg beaten took 2 hours in the stomach, but it took 4 hours 15 minutes in the glass. Again, raw egg took 1 hour 30 minutes, but it took 4 hours in the glass. So, what does our stomach do? Let us discuss. Dr. Beaumont did many experiments and found out many secrets about digestion. He found that food digests faster in the stomach than outside. Did you notice this in the table? Yes, of course, we have noticed that. Our stomach churns the food to digest it. The doctor also saw that the food did not digest properly when Martin was sad. He also found that the juice in our stomach is acidic. Have you heard of anyone talking about acidity? Especially when that person has not eaten well or the food is not digested properly. So children, our stomach churns the food into food to digest it, and Dr. Beaumont, he also have noticed that Martin's food are not digested properly when Martin was sad, and he also found that juice in our stomach is acidic. Dr. Beaumont's experiments became famous across the world. After this, many scientists did many such experiments. What did you say? No. They did not shoot people in the stomach, nor did they wait for a patient with a hole in the stomach. They used other scientific way to look inside our bodies. Okay, so children, what do you think? Did they really shoot people in the stomach or wait for a patient with a hole in the stomach? No, they did not do that. They used other scientific ways to look inside our bodies. Okay, children, this is not a real story. It is a man-made story to let you understand about digestion. Next point, good food, good health. Dr. Aparna has 2 patients, Resmi and Kailas. Dr. Aparna talked to them to find out more about them. Read what the doctor found. Okay, children, here you can see the picture of 2 children. This is Resmi and this is Kailas. Resmi is 5 years. She looks about 3 years old. She has very thin arms and legs and a pot belly, stomach like a balloon. She often falls sick. She always feels tired and cannot go to school regularly. She does not have the strength even to play. Food. She is lucky if she can get a little rice or 1 roti to eat in the whole day. Next is Kailas is 7 years old. He looks older than his age. His body is fat and flabby. He has pain in his legs. He is not very active. He goes to school by bus and spends many hours watching TV. Food he eat. He does not like to eat home-cooked food like dal, rice, vegetables and roti. The only thing he finds tasty are chips, burger, pizzas and soft drinks from the market. Dr. Aparna measured the height and weight of both the children. Then she told them, there is only one treatment for both your problems, is proper food. Okay, children, tell me, what is proper food? Proper food means adequate and nutritious food according to one's body requirement. Okay children, here we can see Rasmi. She is not getting a proper food. She is very thin and she often falls sick. She always feels tired and cannot go to school regularly. She does not have the strength even to play, and sometimes she get only one time food a day. So why do you think Rasmi could eat only one roti in the whole day? I think Rasmi belongs to a poor family. That is why she could eat only one roti in the whole day. And here we can see Kailas. He looks older than his age. You can see him. He's fat and flabby. He's not very active. He's very lazy because he's also not getting proper food. Because he like only the junk foods like burger, fridges, and soft drinks from the market. He does not like to eat home cooked food. So both these children are not getting like proper food. That's why they are not healthy. Next point, proper food, every child's right. You have read about two children. One is Kailas, who does not like homemade food. The other one is Rasmi, who does not even get one proper meal a day. About half the children in our country are like Rasmi. They do not get enough food that they need to grow and develop properly. These children are weak and sickly, often ill, in poor health. But it is the right of every child to get proper food. Okay, children. Like Rasmi, there are many children who are not getting enough food due to poverty. These children are weak and sick. Even many have lost their lives. And some are fortunate enough to have 3 times meal a day. But we should not be like Kailas eating unhealthy food. We should help those who are in need, because really it is the right of every child to get proper food. Okay, next, read about this story in Kalahandi district in Orissa. Gomti is 30 years old. Gomti works in the field of a rich farmer. For all her hard work, she gets paid very little, so little that she cannot even buy enough rice to feed her family. Some months she does not get any work at all. Then she has to eat leaves and roots from the jungle. Gomti's children are weak with hunger and always sick. Few years ago, her husband died of hunger. Most rice grows in Kalahandi district. Rice is even sent to other states from here. Many times the rice that keeps lying in the godowns gets spoiled. In the same Kalahandi, there are many poor people like Gomti. Why do people die of hunger in such a place? Okay, children, Gomti is 30 years old. She works in the field of a rich farmer, but she gets paid very little, so little that she cannot even buy enough rice to feed her family. Sometimes they used to eat leaves and roots from the jungle. Gomti's children are weak with hunger and always sick. Few years ago, even her husband died of hunger. But most rice grows in Kalahandi district. Rice is even sent to the other states from this Kalahandi district, and many times the dry rice that keeps lying in the gardens get spoiled. In some Kalahandi, there are many poor people like Gomti who are poor and who are not getting proper food. Why do people die of hunger in such place? So this is your homework. Think and write, why do people die of hunger in such place like in Kalahandi district? And in page number 24, here are some questions, which is also your homework. You have to try this at your home. Close your eyes and tell. Collect a few food items having different kinds of taste. Play a game with your friends like Jumpa and Julan did. Tell your friend to taste the food and ask. So, question number 1. How did it taste? What was the food item? You have to tell the taste of the food item which you have tasted. Question number 2. On which part of the tongue could you get the most taste? In front, at the back, on the left or right side of the tongue? Question number 3. This is not necessary. Next is 1 at a time. Put some things to eat in other parts of your mouth. Under the tongue, on the lips, on the roof of the mouth. Did you get any taste there? So children, this are your homework. Okay children, we have completed our lesson number 3 and I hope all of you have understood. So I will meet you again in the next class with new chapter. Till then, take care. Thank you.